Well, good evening, everybody. Grooves Blues Reviews here, and sorry for the absence, but of course, life, work, all gets in the way sometimes. But here back with a playoff preview as the Blues, yes, they're back in the playoffs. It's so exciting to see, and they will be taking on the Winnipeg Jets in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. It should be a really good series. I don't see this going any less than 6 games. A lot of analysts predicting 7 games, but nevertheless, it's going to be a great series. When you look at the Blues matching up against the Winnipeg Jets in the regular season, the Blues only won 1 time. The Jets won 3 out of the 4 times. They won 2 times in regulation, 5-1 in St. Louis, where the score didn't tell everything as the Blues hit some posts. They were also robbed by Connor Hellebuyck a couple times. Just had one bad period. The third period lost 5-1. The second home game against the Jets, they lost 8-4. In that game, they were dominated, and Patrick Laine scored 5 goals against us. And then in Winnipeg, they lost 5-4 in overtime. The Blues actually led in that game 2 different times, but couldn't hold on to the lead. Lost in overtime 5-4, and then shut out Winnipeg in their last game of the season against Winnipeg, December 7th in Winnipeg, 1-0. So keeping in mind, the Blues have not seen the Jets since December 7th. So the Jets are going up against a Blues team that is completely different, a team that has turned around and, of course, went from worst to finishing up third in the Western Conference Finals and now matching up against the Jets and also having a completely different goaltender than what the Jets versed in the 4 games they played us. As Jordan Binnington is now the starting goaltender. So there's been enough time, of course, to have a scouting report on Jordan Binnington and, of course, to see what the Blues are doing now and how their change has gone. So definitely the Jets will be prepared, and it's going to be a loud raucous 17,000 crammed into that smaller building. It's going to be interesting to see how the Blues handle that, as looking at last year's playoffs, how loud it was there in the arena up in Winnipeg. So it's going to be fun to see. So just looking at it from the standpoint, Winnipeg, they had our number as far as the season, regular season goes, and you can't deny that. But it was a different Blues team than going in now into the playoffs. And excuse me as I look here to the side as I'm just looking at some of my notes. When you basically are going to break down between the 2 teams here, where we're looking at how to think about this series, when you look at it from an offensive standpoint, I give the slight edge to the Jets just because overall, for the whole body of work of the season, they did better. Scheifele, Wheeler, and Connor altogether, I think, combined for about 240 points. You also throw Patrick Laine into the mix. They did very well and had racked up a lot of points, and they also had the 4th best power play in the league all season long. You then also look at the Blues, and we have Ryan O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Braden Shen. They combined for, I think, around 200 points. They would have had a heck of a lot more if they would have had a good full season, but they didn't. Had a good half season together. Jaden Schwartz completely off of his game in the regular season. Will he show up in the playoffs? Remains to be seen. David Perron, too. He had some injuries dealing with, or else he would have definitely added a lot more scoring to the mix. So definitely give the slight edge in offense to the Winnipeg Jets. When you look at depth, I really give the advantage to the St. Louis Blues. The reason being is that while the Jets, yes, they do have depth, they have some overachieving players this year, and they've got, the 3 players I just mentioned, plus Patrick Laine. On defense, you have Byfuglien, you have Josh Morrissey. However, though, the Blues, they are rolling 4 really good lines, and putting Steen on that 4th line has made all the difference in the world. They're getting scoring from top to bottom. They're looking good. I give the advantage in depth to the Blues. When we look at the defense, the Jets definitely are scary on defense with Byfuglien and Morrissey. Now, they're both coming back from injuries, and Morrissey, I believe, just got cleared to play. But when they're on their A game, they are tough to play against. They're very physical. They're just very tough defense. And Byfuglien also has a very good shot. When you look at the Blues are a little bit more offensive minded on the defense. As you see, Vince Dunn has scored goals. Pietrangelo, of course, can score goals. He's had a little bit of an off season, though, from the defensive standpoint, but he's seemed like he's changed his game and turn it back to where it should be. Jay Bouwmeester, he's found his game. Bortuzzo can take some penalties, so can Edmondson, but still, though, they both, when they're on their game, they're very tough to play against and can definitely give offense teams some problems. Del Zotto, when he stepped in, when the Blues acquired him near the trade deadline, he looked pretty good. So he's, I think, the dark horse here, someone to keep in mind. Colton Parayko, great defenseman, I think. He has great strides. He can get the puck up there as quickly just because of his height and his long reach. He has a bomb of a shot if he would just shoot more. And so when you look at the defense, also too, the first time in franchise history, 3 defensemen, 10 goals or more, the definitely the defense brings offense as well to the table there. But physicality and toughness on defense is something I really, really value. So as right now, I give the slight edge to the Jets as far as defense goes for what their makeup is. But we'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see what with defense in this series. Goaltending, I'm going to have to say it's a tie. And the reason being is that Connor Hellebuck this year, he did not have the season he had last year where he was Vezina caliber. And then, of course, in the playoffs, he helped lead the Winnipeg Jets to the Western Conference Finals. This year, 2.90 goals against average, just under a 92% save percentage. Jordan Bennington, yes, he's a rookie. Yes, this is his first NHL playoff experience, but he's been at very high levels in the minors. He's represented his country at the juniors. He looks as though he has ice in his veins in pressure situations. I understand he's a rookie. Rookies can sometimes unravel in situations with NHL playoffs, but I just don't see it happening with him. I'm really, really banking on him that's not going to happen. And he had a great second half of the season for the Blues. He was one of the reasons the Blues turned it around, and he came in the second half and helped lead the Blues to where they're at now. So I think it's a tie, and the Blues don't have the edge because of that rookie, the being a rookie in net, but because Connor Hellebuck didn't have that great of a season as compared to last year, that's why I think it kind of just evens out a little bit as a tie right now. When you look at coaching, you give the slight advantage to the Jets. Paul Maurice, he's been with this team longer. He's been a head coach longer. He definitely is very good at matchups and being able to coach in that area and motivating his players. So I do give the advantage in coaching to the Jets. Looking at health, definitely the advantage goes to the Blues. The Blues are coming in healthier than the Jets are. The Jets, just have Dustin Byfuglien coming back and Josh Morrissey. These are two key players on the defense. Are they in game-ready shape? Are they ready to go? Will remain to be seen. So just something to keep in mind there. When we look at as regards to the special teams, I do give the advantage to the Blues. While the Jets had the fourth best power play in the NHL, their penalty kill was one of the 10 worst in the NHL. The Blues were one of the top penalty killing teams in the league, and their power play is coming on. They, with rolling four lines, that is able to help because then you're able to have two strong power play units. And I think that their power play is coming on. And I think you're going to see special teams really show up for the Blues. So I give the edge to the Blues as far as that goes with special teams. So special teams edge goes to the Blues. Coaching edge goes to the Jets. Edge for health goes to the Blues. Tie and goaltending for both teams. Edge for defense goes to the Jets, and the edge for depth goes to the Blues, and the edge for the offense goes to the Jets right now. So a very evenly matched series. However, though, my prediction, the Blues will win this game in 6. I believe that their special teams will show up. I think that Jordan Bennington will be strong in net. And I also believe that Jaden Schwartz and David Perron are going to find their game again and add that extra scoring touch. And with the Blues' depth and with rolling four lines, getting scoring from top to bottom, I just think that's going to really be what's in favor for them, along with Jordan Bennington playing the way he is. And, of course, special teams always play a big part, and I just think they're going to show up. So Blues in 6, that's my prediction. Let's go Blues, and it's going to be a great series. Take care, and thanks for watching. I look forward to your comments.